Having grown up in a bed and breakfast, actually, since I'm 17, when my mother turned our home in Brooklyn into a B&B, I really only know what it is to share my home with people, with guests, and I don't think I'd have it any other way. I was planning on moving back to California and opening up a boat and breakfast, and instead came up on a little trip with my mother upstate. She had a friend nearby, and we saw 10 houses, and this was the last house. And it was covered in snow. It was November. And I walked in, and I was enveloped with this feeling that I would one day live here. And inside of 48 hours, everything turned around, and I ended up buying this property and became the youngest innkeeper in America.
The house dates back to 1738, and it was in the same family for 239 years, 12 generations, the Pultz family. And they had it till 1977, I guess. My stepfather, Len Zitz, bought it, and I moved in here when I was about 15, 16. My mom married him.
It's considered an early American telescoping colonial farmhouse. Where the dining room was the whole house originally. They added a room every 5 to 10 years as the family grew. This is all the original buttermilk blue. The Ryefield suite would have been where the eldest son would have stayed with his family. The whole house was built by about 1790.
And so I kind of came with the house, because when Jana bought the house, I lived across the street, and I saw a bunch of debris outside and some construction activity, and came by to say hello. And I forget what you said to me, but we were instant friends, best friends. Most of our guests come from the city, and you can tell when they get here on Friday night through the traffic that they really need to take a break and unplug.
There's a sort of get away from my regular life and the trials and tribulations that poses. Reconnect with one another, and then also have an interaction and an exchange with some new people in a setting that is conducive for conversation and over a good meal. Nobody's ironing pillowcases for themselves. Nobody's, doing little bedside posy flower arrangements for themselves, and necessarily home baking, and so it's those little treats and subtle little extras that round out the experience here. It's not fussy. We're more relaxed, and it's not it's not a Victorian and doily laden kind of place either. It's the house itself is a little more. It's more rustic. It's more grounded. There's nothing lofty or ostentatious about it. It's approachable, and I think we're approachable. And you'd be hard-pressed to find this kind of magical combination of both country, living in the country, and yet we don't have to compromise on quality dining or variety of it. I challenge anyone to find a town of our population in Rhinebeck that has as many quality, notable restaurants.
Well, she's my best friend, but she's also my boss.
She's a planner. She likes to know what's going to be for breakfast. She likes to have the table set the night before. And my personality is a little more winging it.
And it's a nice balance, because we each get to do things that we like, or we'll pick up the slack if there's something each other doesn't like.
It feels really good to share this with her. Life is better. Life is better when shared with your best friend. How lucky are we to be able to do this, to do what we love with the people we love.